If you've been in real estate for a while and referrals still feel random, this video is for you. You've helped people, you've closed deals, you've stayed in touch at least a little, and you look at your database and think, I know these people. They like me, they trust me, so why isn't anything coming back? Over nearly 3 decades in real estate, working with agents at every stage, I've watched this play out again and again. Agents with hundreds of contacts, past clients who are happy, strong relationships on paper, still waiting for referrals that never show up. And here's what matters most. It's usually not about effort, and it's definitely not about luck. There's a simple reason most databases stay quiet, and once you see it, everything starts to make sense. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your database isn't producing referrals and what actually causes people to think of you when it matters most. Let's get into it. Most agents believe referrals should come naturally once they have a database. You help someone buy or sell a home, they're happy, they thank you, they say, we'll send people your way, and then nothing happens. Months pass, sometimes years. That's confusing because on the surface, everything looks right. You did good work, you treated them well, there was no conflict, so it's easy to assume referrals just take time. But time alone doesn't create referrals. What happens in most databases is very simple. After the deal closes, life moves on, your clients go back to work, they focus on family, they deal with bills, school, health, and everything else. And you slowly fade into the background. Not because they didn't like you, and not because they didn't appreciate you, but because nothing is keeping you present in their world. Here's something important to understand. People don't wake up thinking about real estate agents. They think about real estate only when something changes. A job move, a growing family, a divorce, parents getting older, kids leaving the house. In those moments, a question pops up almost instantly. Do we know someone? That question gets answered in seconds. And the name that comes to mind isn't always the best agent. It's the most familiar one. Most agents aren't forgotten because they did something wrong. They're forgotten because they stayed silent for too long. From the client's point of view, silence feels like distance. Weeks turn into months, months turn into years, and when the moment comes, your name simply isn't sitting close enough to the surface. That's why referrals feel random. They're tied to timing, not intention. Now, here's where most agents miss the real point. They think a database exists to store contacts. That's not the real job. The real job of a database is to keep relationships warm enough so your name stays familiar. A working database does three simple things. It reminds people who you are, it keeps you connected without forcing conversation, and it shortens the distance between you and the moment they need help. Without that, even great relationships cool off. And when relationships cool off, referrals dry up. That is why database size doesn't matter as much as people think. A list of 500 people who never hear from you won't help much. A list of 150 people who remember you absolutely will. Now, this is where many agents get uncomfortable. They hear advice like, just ask for more, be direct, tell people you want referrals. Sometimes that works. Often it doesn't, because asking doesn't create memory. Asking only works when familiarity already exists. When someone hasn't heard from you in months, a referral ask feels sudden, even if it's polite. From their side, it feels like pressure. That's why agents either avoid asking or they ask once, feel awkward, and stop. You have to understand something important. Referrals come from being present long before the ask ever matters. Agents who get referrals consistently, like the agents inside the production program, don't talk about referrals all the time. They focus on staying visible in simple, steady ways. They don't disappear after closings. They don't wait until they need business. They stay lightly connected. A message when something reminds them of a client. A short check-in once in a while. A small update that feels normal, not salesy. Because of that, when real estate comes up in a conversation, their name feels close, and closeness wins. That's the difference. Referrals aren't triggered by effort in the moment. They're triggered by presence over time. Now let's talk about what a referral-friendly database actually needs. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need expensive automation. It needs a few basic things done consistently. First, everyone lives in one place, organized clearly, with some level of priority tagging. Second, there's a simple habit of staying in touch. Not every week, not aggressively, just consistently enough to stay familiar. Third, people know what you do and who you help. Not in a scripted way, not in a pushy way, but clearly. When those three things exist, referrals stop feeling like luck. They start feeling expected. Now here's why this feels hard for most agents. This work feels invisible. You don't see immediate results. You don't get instant feedback. No one calls you the next day saying, "Hey, thanks for the check-in. I have 3 referrals for you." So when business gets busy, staying in touch feels easy to skip. And when business gets slow, panic takes over. That up and down cycle keeps breaking momentum. The agents who push through that phase aren't doing anything fancy. They're not more charismatic. They're not luckier. They just keep relationships alive long enough for timing to work in their favor. And when timing shows up, they're the name that's remembered. They like you, things feel good, then nothing happens. Why? Because people aren't responding to past satisfaction. They're responding to familiarity. They remember the agent who stayed in touch, the one who felt steady, the one who didn't disappear after the paperwork was done. If you want help putting all of this together in a clear, simple way, that's exactly what I work on with agents inside the production program. It's a proven system focused on database building, referrals, and steady lead flow without guessing, chasing, or starting over every month. If you want to build a referral-based business using a structure that actually holds up over time, check out the first link in the description. And if this video gave you something useful, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you in the next video.